everybody. Welcome to Drunkard's Walk, the podcast. It's me, Matt Hartman, one of your hosts for this walk through Wikipedia, and I am joined, as always, by none other than Jethro Nolan.
Hello, it's I, Jethro Nolan.
Wow. The dulcet tones.
I tried something out. I didn't like it, so I immediately gave up on it. Just like everything else I do in life.
Perfect.
In fact, I've the only thing that's kept me from quitting this podcast after the first episode is the damage it would do to our friendship. I'm still trying to find an elegant way out. But I can't get out. I always end up back at the beginning. So there you go.
That's right. That's what happens with a drunkard's walk. You try to head out the exit, and it turns out that's just the entrance. So there you are. You're right back where you started again. And you know what? It's great that you bring that up, actually, Jethro, because for those folks that are just listening for the very first time, they may not know what a drunkard's walk refers to. They might think that, these are just two drunkards that are going to be wandering around, but that's not the case, right?
I mean, that's not all that's happening. So a drunkard's walk is also called a random walk, but drunkard's walk is a lot more fun to say. Is where you take a random left, right, or straight at every intersection, and then eventually you will find yourself back at the point of origin if the path is long enough. And we're doing that through Wikipedia. Every week's destination is a randomly selected spot, except for the last week of the season. And Matt, do you know what it is?
What is it?
It's the last week of the season.
What?
That's right. We are not off to new and uncharted waters. We are going back to familiar charted waters.
Yes.
And
we will be waters.
Going back to a place where we have been before.
Yes, and we've been multiple times before. We've had it as a destination once before, and we've used it as a starting point for this entire season. And so if you're playing at home, go ahead and try to guess what that is now.
Ding.
Did you guess hospital? That's incorrect.
Did you guess avocado? Also incorrect.
Did you guess Lockstich? Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 congratulations. Yay. You got it. Yeah. Lockstich is our destination. That's where we started off the season. And it was our fourth. Must have been our fourth destination in season 1.
There you go.
So that's how it works, folks. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off where we ended last week with Radio Clatterbridge. And we're going to venture off to Lockstich. Now, most of the time we would have a guest on to give us our destination. But again, as Jethro said, our destination tonight was predetermined. So we have no guest. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
Yeah, we could, we can, and we will make it for sure to the Lockstich. But it's kind of, it's kind of like going back to our origins, Jethro. When we first started this thing, it was only the two of us. We didn't even have guests. Remember that? Oh
yeah, we just had a call out on social media for suggestions, and then we eventually got tired of hearing ourselves, and we're like, we should have another voice, and that's worked so well. Literally, dozens of friends of ours have been on. Many people twice, because we've run out of friends. Every human I know has been on the podcast.
That's correct. And if you recall that, like what we used to do, for those of you that didn't hear season 1, because, and I mean, you can't really anymore unless you join our Patreon. We would put that call out on social media, and then we would just wait. We would just sit and we would talk. We'd be like, oh yeah, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Did you get anything yet? No, I didn't get anything yet. Did you get anything? No, I don't get it. Oh wait, I got something. And that's how we would get all of our topics. So we put that to rest, and here we are. And it's brought us 4 wonderful seasons, and then that first season.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, we weren't always the finely tuned podcasting machine that you're that you have the pleasure of listening to now.
The highly produced,
some very awkward early days.
Yeah, it's true. Well, before we journey off on our journey, God, that's rough.
Good one.
A lot of times we have a little drink as we're wandering along. Are you drinking anything tonight, Mary Jessica?
Oh, am I? I tell you
Are you?
what, I'm having water again because
Yeah.
I definitely need to go out to the liquor store. And I have failed to prioritize that, which is very odd for me.
Hmm.
But I promise you, before the next season, I will head to the liquor store, so it's not just me drinking water while you get soused.
Oh,
So,
well, you've tipped our hand to tell them that we're doing another season.
oh, aha, or are we?
Oh, perhaps not. No, we are. Don't worry, everybody. We are. We'll be back for season 6 in February. So look
I didn't
forward to
know
that.
that was a big cliffhanger.
No, it was.
Question
It
mark there.
wasn't. I just thought I was just having fun.
Gotcha.
Hey, guess what? I'm also drinking water tonight.
Look at
So
that.
we're both staying stone cold sober for this walk.
Oh
It'll be a
wow.
good one.
Who's to say? Perhaps
Yeah.
it'll cause our downfall.
And
Well,
maybe it's a huge mistake, but we'll find out as we walk on. But before we walk, also one of the things we always do is make a prediction as to how many steps it's going to take us. But Jethro, we normally throughout the season we kind of look at who has more wins
mhm.
than the other person. And folks may recall several weeks ago, you won it way before the season even ended. Because let me see our numbers right now. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 9,
Wow.
and that must leave me with less than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I have 4. So 9-4 right now. So even if I were to win tonight, it would still end 9-5. If you were to win
What
tonight,
a way to
obviously
make a
10 to
living.
4. But yeah, exactly. But if you win, it's 10-4, so it's kind of like a trucker thing there.
Well, you are my good buddy. So
Yeah. So the question is, Jethro, do we still predict tonight, or do we change it up somehow? Do we try to make it, do we put do we double or nothing it, or do we make this interesting, or do we just say, whatever, let's just do what we always do? What do you think?
So I think that the victory that I have cemented for the season stands.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, okay.
I should absolutely be granted my glorious prize.
Right. Which we never determined. So
You know what? I
should
tell
have
you,
done that, but
here's what I think. I think season 1 we did stakes, or season 2 we did stakes when we
season 1 we just did a bourbon, and then season 2 we added stakes to that because season 1 was a tie, and we didn't break the tie. We just carried it through to season 2.
So as you and anybody who follows me on the social medias knows, I received a smoker for Christmas and have begun smoking various meats. So I think my prize that I would like to propose is some smokable meats that I will prepare for our wives with my smoker, and we can have you guys over.
Oh, that sounds great. So a mystery meat, if you will.
Hopefully it will be identified. In fact, I'm going to have to insist that the animal that it came from be a known species.
No, I make no promises. I make no promises. I think it's going to be much more fun to do.
However,
yes,
for that meal, we are going to require a bottle of wine. And so I think today's episode should be a contest for who's going to bring the wine.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, I don't really drink wine, but I suppose if you say so.
All right.
I'll buy it.
Or another
buy it.
Alcoholic liquid in a bottle.
Okay. A beverage to pair with the meat, essentially.
There you go.
Got it. Okay. All right. That sounds good. So there's something on the line. That's good. I like that. I like that we've braised the stakes, so to speak.
Indeedly do. All right.
Well, I guess I better write down my prediction then. So Radio Clatterbridge to Lockstich.
Yes.
And just so that the listener is aware, and I guess so that you are too, Jethro, the last time we went to Lockstich, we went there from St. Pancras Railway Station, and it took us 5. It took us 5 steps to get there.
There you go.
I'm just giving you an indication as to what it takes to get into Lockstich. I guess maybe. I'm not sure if that's helpful or not. I don't know if maybe I'm messing everything up by telling you that.
I don't think I think I got a pretty good finger on the pulse.
You got a finger on your pulse? All right, that sounds good.
I'm fingering my pulse right now.
Ugh, stop saying it, please. All right. I have written down my prediction.
So Radio Clatterbridge is where we begin our journey this evening. It is a community hospital radio station based in Clatterbridge Health Park, Wirral, UK. It is also a registered UK charity.
That's right. And this is we should point out, not a super long page.
Not at all. And I will say, as mentioned on last week's Drunkard's Walk, the station notably carried the first broadcast interview with the Beatles. It is one of the oldest radio stations in the UK, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I'm going to say the Beatles are an exciting exit out of this page because, let's face it, the Beatles had a huge career and are quite an influential band and have many varied aspects to their creative output and might take us to some interesting places.
Interesting.
Certainly members of the Beatles were known to have their own sartorial extravagances. So like the costumes that they would wear and the clothing could get us in the direction of sewing as a possibility.
True. Well, it's true. We have been through the Beatles before, I will point out. Now, it's not to say that we shouldn't take them, but I just do want to point that out. What I see two actual other exit strategies here.
Yeah.
The first I'm going to point out to you is gramophone.
I love it.
And that takes you to phonograph. But I think that the idea of a mechanical device similar to that of a sewing machine, there might be a connection there that we would be able to go through.
Gramophones also famously use needles.
Right. Yes. Correct.
This is true.
The needle, the sewing. And then the other thing that I want to potentially point out is frequency. So when you mouse over frequency, it says the number of occurrences of a repeating event per unit of time. And my guess would be that a type of frequency would be the rate at which a sewing machine puts stitches into thing. Now, I don't know if it's actually called a frequency, but it's a similar type of thing. How many do you get per minute type of a thing? I don't know if that's good or not. What do you think?
Well, I mean, frequency can also just get us into the idea of pattern generally. And pattern, the concept of, the repetition of information in a pattern could get us to a sewing pattern. Although I feel now that I've said that out loud, it feels a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah. That feels a little rough on that one. Well, of those two that I've suggested, I guess gramophone is the one that I would go with. I feel like it's a little more sure of a thing. The Beatles, again, we've been there before, so I'm not. It might be a good way in, but I don't know. I don't know that they would necessarily talk. They might talk about what they wore, but would costumes be linked? I don't know. It's
a fair point, and I will also say that gramophones certainly came of age during the Industrial Revolution when sewing machines also came of age.
Right.
At least home sewing machines. I think professional sewing machines probably preceded the gramophone by a half century or so. But I like it. I'm in agreement. Gramophones, it is.
Let's do it. Gramophone, which actually takes you to phonograph. To be clear, that's the page we're going to wind up on is phonograph.
There you go.
But the word that we clicked was gramophone. So phonograph, here we are. A phonograph in its later forms, also called a gramophone, as a trademark since 1887, as a generic name in the UK since 1910.
Wow.
It's a record player, folks. It's a record player.
If you're not
familiar with record players, that's what they do. They play the records.
Yeah. Just go over to your Grammy Award that's sitting on your shelf. And that is actually a phonograph.
That's right.
It's how music used to get delivered to your ears. Here's podcasts.
Here's a picture of the Edison wax cylinder, which I believe we referenced at one point earlier this season when I was telling folks that it was indeed a podcast that they were listening to, and not some other form of media. So there you go. There's the picture. right there. Alexander Graham Bell is on this page. Obviously, Thomas Edison, as I just mentioned, his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a statistic recently that that LPs outsold CDs last year for the first time since like 1984 or something like that. Some ridiculous thing that CDs just aren't the rage anymore, but everybody's still buying records essentially.
Everybody's not still buying, like creepy.
No, everybody.
Creepy,
no, every person is buying records.
Creepy middle-aged guys who are like, I want the true sound. Like I have a record player. I collected comedy albums when I was a younger man and had time for such nonsense. Right. So I have a record player and I have a couple hundred records, and I can't even remember the last time I put a record on and played it. Like it's just so inconvenient relative to just finding it, having Apple Music or Amazon Music, just play it.
So I can tell you the last time I did was last Christmas I got a record player that also has a USB port on it.
Yeah.
So you can then record records into digital form. So I did a bunch of that, moving a bunch of records onto digital, so that I could then never have to listen to a record again.
I would love to do that. So my records are basically fall into one of two camps. One is comedy records. And the other camp is just like music that I like that was cheap because vinyl was super cheap when I was buying it in the 90s. And most of the stuff I have on vinyl I can find digitally, but there are a couple of like random, like, this college jazz band that my high school jazz teacher turned me on to. Like, I can't get it anywhere online, but I so love this particular version of this particular song. That I would love to transfer it to a digital format though. So I need to buy me one of them.
Yeah, I had that same issue with very particularly a Smothers Brothers album that I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember the actual title of, but it was not available on CD or digitally anywhere that I could find it. And you could find the individual like tracks occasionally, like on YouTube or something, but the whole album was just not available. And so I was able to do that. And it's great. It's great.
Excellent. Well,
all right. So I'm looking through this page here.
Are you now?
I'm not seeing. I do see. I see a particular U.S. patent, and I see some references to. Oh, there's patent in general. So that might be a thing to get into patents. But I haven't seen anything that's specifically like that's pointing me to sewing machine or anything along those lines yet. Have you seen anything like that?
I have not. Okay. It's challenging too because the page is huge.
It is. Oh, Great Depression is on here.
Yeah.
Now there may be talk of, sewing and sewing machines on a page like that.
Patents, you said?
Yeah, patent is on here. But again, I don't know how many examples they're going to give of, on that page. Like, would they talk about particular patents? Was the sewing machine a patent that is notable enough that it would show up on a Wikipedia page? I have no idea.
It's so true. These are excellent questions.
Frequency is back. Stylus I'm seeing here, but I'm not seeing needle anywhere. I'm just seeing stylus instead of needle, because I guess that's what it actually is a stylus. We all call it a needle, but it's not. Does that sound right? Or was it a stylus and I just haven't gotten to that point yet where it's changed to a needle?
I don't know. I mean, I always think of a stylus in terms of the writing instrument that you use on your, either your, depending on whether or not you're like a Mesopotamian trader, on your clay tablets or on your notebook computer, if you're a modern human.
Right. I see servo mechanism.
Ooh.
In control engineering, a servo mechanism, usually shortened to servo, is an automatic device that uses error sensing negative feedback to correct the action of a mechanism. Would a sewing machine have that?
I don't know. I hope so. For God's sakes.
I don't know either. Mass market is on here. magnet, physics, just physics, just, physics.
It's amazing. I'm going to say there's too much.
Yeah.
There's too much stuff on this page.
I would say. I'm wondering if there's something, perhaps I'm being too focused on this idea of looking for the sewing machine. I wonder if there's another path out of here that I just haven't seen yet, like shellac. That's on here. Shellac.
That's a good word to say and to hear.
It is. But it really shellacks any chance of getting us where we need to go, I think.
Wow. Wow.
That was a good one.
No, I'm going to agree to disagree.
That was a good one?
No.
It was a good... No?
No.
There's a list of phonograph manufacturers down here in the C also. Do we think that those who made phonographs also made sewing machines?
It's certainly possible. We theoretically, we could go through somebody like an Alexander Graham Bell. Like, as an inventor, he had his fingers in a lot of pies and was active at that time when the sewing machine was invented. So I feel like that's not a totally bad route to go through. I
mean, Edison also, right? So Edison is a possibility there too. I don't know how much Edison did with those types of things, but did he make a sewing machine at all?
He made so many things, but I also feel like Edison has too much press as it is. I feel like,
do you?
I feel like Bell is the more interesting of the two, just because he's not as overexposed. And again, it's not like Edison was, a jerk or anything. I mean, he was a bit of a jerk, but
most of them were.
This is true. Well, I'm thinking specifically about the war of alternating current versus direct current, and how Edison wanted to make the far safer alternating current seem dangerous, and so he electrocuted an elephant with it to show how deadly it could be. But it ended up being the standard anyway, because it's the superior technology.
Yeah. I'm looking at so there's a drop down thing for Edison at the bottom of the page, and there's a bunch of things on here about like General Electric is linked.
Is it?
Yeah, and I wonder if General Electric might not be the way to go. GE, would GE make maybe GE wouldn't make a sewing machine. I don't know.
They bring good things to life.
They sure do.
I guess Singer is the company I think of when I think of a sewing machine, and GE may have made sewing machines at some point, but I struggle to think of it in that context. I really think of them about electricity generation, and then sort of their more modern, large scale things, like they manufacture MRI machines and that kind of stuff, and airplane engines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get like appliances around the house. They're GE, refrigerators and things like that. So that's why appliance, when you think home appliance, it's possible. Alexander Graham Bell, I could be convinced that that's a good way to go through here. I mean, most of the stuff that's linked here is sound related, which isn't too surprising, I don't think. So I don't see anything else on here that, makes you say, hey, we definitely have to go this way.
Let's do it. Then let's go with Bell.
Yeah. Alexander Graham Bell, patent is on here again, if you want to go to patent, but let's do Alexander Graham Bell.
All right. It's up at the top in the second paragraph.
Learn a little about him here. Yeah.
Alexander Graham Bell, Scottish-born inventor and scientist and engineer who is credited with inventing and patenting the first practical telephone.
Invented the graham cracker as well.
No, he did not.
Yeah, that's why it's named after him. Alexander Graham Cracker.
No. It is settled law on this podcast. We've already talked about Dr. Harvey Kellogg and the turn of the century wackadoos and Graham, whatever his name was.
S.W. Graham, was that right?
S.W. Graham. That sounds reasonably accurate. And he invented graham crackers to keep people from masturbating.
That's right.
And let me tell you something. That doesn't work.
No. Well, okay. Now maybe it does, because let's think that you think about the last time you had a graham cracker. Were you masturbating at the time?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
And afterwards I wanted some more.
Okay. Good night. Good night. Goodbye.
See, I can combine masturbation with dad jokes. Try and stop me. I'd like to also give a shout out to my cousins. Sorry, not my God damn it. My nieces. My nieces. When I went home for Thanksgiving, my niece was talking about how she listened to my podcast, and so
oh good.
And so all of my filthy language and just low class, lowbrow humor is now out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that I've really been hiding it in family settings. It's just.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Here I am. Love me or don't.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, I'm not seeing a whole lot on here as far as directly related to a sewing machine. There are some things on here like scientific community, and we've got the Smithsonian Institute. I'm seeing, of course, Rio de Janeiro, the U.S. Supreme Court. So far, don't see anything that can get us out to that type of thing, which is, it's surprising. I really did think that we were going to see like, other inventions around the same time, and maybe there were going to be connections here, but doesn't seem like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a damn shame, because it would have been nice if there were a link on here.
I see. So fiber optic communication is on here. Now, I understand that has nothing to do with sewing, but perhaps fiber into fiber,
possibly
fibers like sewing fibers.
I got you.
It's an idea. Tetrahedral box kites are on here, because why wouldn't they be? There's some good airplane type stuff here. Some aeronautics going on, which I didn't realize was a thing for Alexander Graham Bell.
Indeed. There's a lot of categories at the bottom. There's Hall of Fame for Great Americans inductees.
Oh, yeah?
Indeed. There are 19th century British inventors. There are.
Do you know who or when invented the sewing machine?
I feel like it's got to be 19th century. Right? The 1800s. So like think about 1801, people sewing by hand, but by 1899, oh yeah, there's a machine there.
Okay. That seems reasonable.
There's also 20th century American inventors.
Okay.
As a possibility. Are you, that's a lot of hms.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of hms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't, aside from those things that you're suggesting there, I'm not seeing a lot. There's a lot of telephone stuff, which shouldn't surprise anybody as long as you know who Alexander Graham Bell is. Inventor of the telephone, by the way, folks. Well, at least attributed inventor of the telephone. I think that there were a lot of folks working on very similar types of things at the same time. So whether or not he actually did it, I don't know.
I mean, also
actually the first.
Also, like, I feel like the story we tell about inventions is often ridiculously oversimplified. Like, if something as complex as calculus can be essentially co-invented by, or rather, independently invented by two different people who were working on the same types of problems,
right?
If Alexander Graham Bell got hit by a bus when he was 10, telephone still would have been invented by somebody.
Right.
So,
yes, I believe that is true. Okay, so I do see the Hall of Fame of Great Americans, but that doesn't really help me too much because I don't know who worked on this. Like, I wouldn't even know who to.
I know.
Is Eli Whitney on here? He did the cotton gin. That's somehow related to fabric.
It's true. But I feel like that list of great Americans.
He is on there. There's Eli Whitney. There he is.
Yeah, but that cotton is like way upstream of.
Oh, yes, for
actual, sure. Lock stitches, one presumes.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. But I'm just saying it's a thing. It is a thing.
It is a thing. There.
It is a thing, and it is there.
Well, listener, we've established it exists. You're welcome.
There it is. See?
I feel like we don't even have to do the rest of the episode now.
A lot of people don't realize that things exist, and so I feel like we're doing a service.
We are.
What we're doing is helping
the Lord's work, as they say,
helping out the people. Well, we've had super long pages here, and I can't believe we haven't been able to find anything yet. Patent once again is on here. I'm not saying we should go there necessarily, but we've been avoiding it a couple of times, and now I'm a little like, maybe that is a way to go.
Yeah, I mean,
gosh, tuberculosis is here. We should have just gone through back. Wasn't that the beginning of this season? Weren't we getting to tuberculosis?
I've all the seasons bleed together for me. I forget.
Pretty sure it was. Yeah. Mycobacterium tuberculosis was where we were headed. So we could have just gotten. Could have gotten there through good old Alexander Graham Bell.
There you go. All right. Yep. So I do like patent as a possibility. Okay. I also like Hall of Fame for Great American Inductees. Just because if Alexander Graham Bell is there, then who else could be in there? Who
else indeed?
But I'm not. There's also 20th century American inventors. Although I feel like the 20th century is too late. I feel like the sewing machine had to have been invented in the 19th century.
So here's something I'm gonna point out, and I don't know, just because I saw it and I feel like it. I need to say it now because I went up to make sure that was indeed where we went first. And what I noticed was, World War I jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that the sewing machine was necessarily invented during World War I, but it was somehow connected in some way. Do we have a link to World War I around here?
Well, why? Hold on 3 seconds. Why do you say that the sewing machine was connected to World War I?
Because when I went up to look at that was one of the links was from sewing machine to World War I.
Wow. I feel like that's weird.
I mean, I don't know how or why. The other thing is too, I'm not saying that, like, we know that there are a lot of ways to get into places that you couldn't get back out the same way, right? So on the sewing machine page, there must be a link to World War I. That does not mean that on the World War I page, there is a link to sewing machine.
Oh, absolutely not. That's what I thought you were suggesting. And I thought that is madness.
Well, I'm saying it's possible because of that, but I don't have any kind of, I've got nothing to back that up.
I feel like wars are generally not known for all of the sewing that went on in them. I think they're more about the battles and the killing and the weapons, and a little less about the sewing.
Generally, that's true. And I don't see a link to World War I on this page anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
There you go.
All right. So where do you want to go? So what do you think here?
I like the list, the inductees into the American thing. That's one possibility.
The inductees into the American thing. Sorry.
Oh, don't make me scroll down, for God's sake.
Sorry. You lost already. Okay.
The Hall of Fame for Great Americans inductees. I feel like that's going to have a list of great Americans.
Well, where's that? Let's go there.
All the way at the bottom.
Oh, well, okay. But here's the thing.
It's a category.
Was the sewing machine? Oh, it's a category. Oh, forget it.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't know that the sewing machine was invented by an American.
I mean, it probably was. Come on.
I don't know so much about that.
Okay. Well, then I also think patent is fine.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's go to patent then.
So are we clicking on US patent?
So I did just see that that's there. I did see patent by itself also, and I'm not sure if it takes us to the same page or not.
Where did you see patent by itself?
Yeah, it's buried in here somewhere. Because I didn't see that US patent before. So I definitely saw one that just said patent.
That was a clickable. There's a race to the patent office section.
Okay.
In 1875, Bell developed an acoustic telegraph and drew up a patent application for it. Patent application
Okay.
is a clickable link.
Oh,
However,
patent application.
yes, but that's not patent. The word patent appears in here 9,000 times. I'm not seeing the word patent on its own as a clickable link. I do see U.S. Patent Office as
yes, U.S. Patent Office is in there too. Yeah, I don't know where I don't know where I saw it. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can continue to look around for it, or we can go to U.S. Patent or U.S. Patent Office.
Let's go to U.S. Patent.
Just U.S. Patent.
Yeah, that's going to take us. Yeah, so it's up in the second paragraph at the very top of the article. It links to a U.S. patent.
All right, U.S. patent. Let's do it.
Here we go.
U.S. patent law is what it takes us to.
Ooh, very exciting.
Oh, that's not good.
Come on. It's great. I'm glad we're here. Hooray for us.
Hooray for you.
You can't stop the American spirit of innovation.
No, you sure can't. So this is just all about the law. This is not going to have any examples on it, which is not great for us, I have a feeling. The U.S. Patent Office and Trademark Office, there's just a link to just patent.
There is a list of top United States patent recipients.
Well, again, we don't know for certain that this is an American invention. So
I'm going to go ahead and embrace my nationalistic fervor and say that it was.
I'm not so sure about that. I see a bunch of different types of patents on here. There's a submarine patent.
Is there?
Yeah.
You know who drove a yellow submarine?
The Beatles, right? Or was it just Ringo? I'm not sure.
They all lived in it.
Well, they all lived in it, but who drove it? That's what you asked. Who drove it?
They took turns.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
They did.
Yeah. So this is boy, whole lot of patent law going on in through here. And different types of, I mean, there are different all elements test, continuing patent application, design patent, doctrine of inherency.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. Timeline of United States inventions.
Ooh, I like that a whole lot.
How about that one?
Where is that linked?
That is right in the See Also. It's like the very first thing.
See Also down at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Timeline of United States inventions. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because even if the sewing machine itself wasn't invented in America, there's some some
bobbin or something.
Yeah, exactly. That will qualify.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go.
Timeline of United States inventions.
Oh, sadly, there are 0 inventions listed. It only gives you 4 different options. Before 1890, 1890 to 1945, 1946 to 1991, and after 1991. I'm going to go all in before 1890.
Really?
That's the timeline we want.
But as you mentioned, it may not be that the actual sewing machine was invented in the U.S. or patented in the U.S., right?
Okay. So which problem do you think was harder to solve? A sewing machine or the telephone?
Probably the telephone.
Okay. That was invented before 1890.
Right. And I'm not saying that the sewing machine wasn't invented before 1890. What I am arguing here is that the sewing machine was not invented in the US, is not a United States invention. But as you mentioned, something relating to the sewing machine was, and that thing may have been invented later.
Maybe. But Matt, I got to say, as we all know, World War I, or as it's more frequently called, the Great Sewing Machine War, had sewing machines mass deployed by 1914. So I figure for sewing machines to have become such an integral part of the military industrial complex, they had to have been invented before 1890.
Right. And again, I'm not arguing that they weren't. I am arguing that whatever patented U.S. invention that contributes to the sewing machines working was invented after 1890. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you're saying 1890 to 1945 is the way you want to go?
No, I just want to make sure that I'm being heard.
Okay, I hear you. Your words are all in order. They make sentences. What do you want to actually do? We have to click on something. What do you think is the best thing that we should click on?
So after my argument, after what I've told you here, you still think that before 1890 is the better choice?
100% yes.
All right, then let's go there.
Yes. Thank you.
Timeline of United States inventions before 1890
and
is the name of this.
And there's a picture of Eli Whitney right up there. He's your guy.
He's cottoning the gin, baby.
He is ginning some cotton.
Yeah,
so
he loves it.
Many wonderful things to have stuff.
Okay.
There's links to patents here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
As you would expect, swim fins, the octant, mail order, the lightning rod. Look at these amazing inventions. Bifocals.
A wheel cipher.
Ah, yes, the old wheel cipher.
The fire hydrant was invented in 1801.
Well, who would have guessed?
The banjo clock in 1802. Oh, what a time to be alive.
Look what's down here at 1829, the graham cracker.
There it is. Oh, just looking at those makes my dick hard. What? I also see it.
1833. It says sewing machine, parentheses, Lockstich.
Fantastic.
But Lockstich isn't linked.
Oh, just my God. Machine.
Well, we got to go to it, though. Right?
Hold on to your multiple horses here, friend.
Okay, I'm holding.
Sewing machine very well could get us to Lockstich. But if you read the paragraph there, Walter Hunt invented the first lock-stitch sewing machine in 1833. Hunt lost interest and did not patent his invention. In 1846, Elias Howe secured a patent on the original lock-stitch machine. So I feel like Elias Howe could get us there, but you probably want to click on sewing machine.
100% I do. Yes.
All right.
100%. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be on sewing machine.
Isaac Singer.
I'm so sure of it. I've jinxed myself.
All right, there we go. I've clicked on it.
All right, me too.
I see it.
I see. You see it?
It's in design. I see, or rather, I see a section on the page that says Lockstich.
I see a section also.
I do not see a clickable link.
Oh my God. Oh, it is. It is. It's above it. It's above it. Go back up to stitches at the top of design. Chain stitch, lock stitch, overstitch, and cover stitch. So there it is. Lock stitch.
It is.
Lock it in, baby.
There we go. Wow. It is
lock stitch. Love it.
Amazing.
Wow. So there it is. So you were right. You were right. It was an American invention and in the 1830s. So don't forget that, everybody. The
Fantastic.
1830s.
Yeah. Definitely not later than 1890.
No, not later than 1890.
Just want to point that out.
Well,
and that's why we won the war.
That's what won it for us.
We had 80 years of sewing machine experience, and we were able to stitch a blanket, which kept the Germans from penetrating further into the Belgian lowlands than they did.
I mean, I also think that a lot of other countries put in a lot more than we did. So I'm not going to say that we won the war, but we were part of the Allies. We picked the right side very late, so that worked out well for us.
I grew up in Texas, so my version of American history is filtered through the prism of what the Texas state legislature will allow students to learn. So it is all rah America.
Rah.
So all Matt,
Jethro,
we're here.
So
we've done it.
Yes, we're here. We've made it, and we can take a look now at our guesses and end the suspense. So it took us 7 links to get here. We went radio Clatterbridge to phonograph to Alexander Graham Bell to U.S. patent law to timeline of United States inventions, and then timeline of United States inventions before 1890 to sewing machine to lock stitch. That's 7 links. Jethro, what did you guess?
I guessed 5.
Jethro, I guessed 6.
Oh, you son of a gun. I Well done, sir. It looks like I will be bringing the beverage.
Indeed you shall. But I shall be bringing the meat from 9-5 because that is their score, 9-5 there. So congratulations on your overwhelming victory. I have to say, in the past, you've won by like one. We had several ties. I mean, it was all very, very close. But this season, man, I don't know. You knew what was up. Our average for the season here is at 5.6.
Wow.
5.6.
That feels a little higher than normal.
Well, our average overall is 4.575.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. So that's our overall average. But I mean, we had a 9 this season. We had a couple 9s this season, some 8s, or maybe just 1 8, a couple 7s here and there. So, and also it's taking into account the fact that we both walked from Hachiko or Hachiko, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, to Brisket. And we had, so it's a little messed up because of that. But, how did the season go for you, Jethro? Do you have any positive memories of the season or anything that you look back on, you go, oof, that thing?
I have a lot of positive memories. First of all, learning about William Moulton Marston and his just a rather unique life. I did after that episode, I did watch that movie that is based on his life, and this guy he had a good time. We'll just say that he really did. Fluffernutter was in there. It's a distant memory, but I was delightfully surprised by you and Dave Foreman's naughty hijinks with the David S. Pumpkins episode.
Yes, a Halloween theme. That certainly was fun. And then of course you had to turn around on me, and I believe I think it was Emma who reached out to you actually and said, let's get him back.
Like it was moments after you had published the David S. Pumpkins episode. She was like, perfect. If you ever want to get back at him, I'm in.
And so Alexander Ovechkin was one of our topics, and boy, oh boy, that was the worst. I really enjoyed the travel to Epcot. That was a lot of fun, and the conversation that we got to have with Amanda about all things Disney, where you got to sit and say, "Oh, yeah, that's good too." But that was a good time, and gosh, I had a couple beers throughout the season. That was a good time for me there, and we had the Penelope Bourbon guys on.
We did.
That was great. That was great.
And we didn't get nearly as much free bourbon from that as I thought we were going to.
No. Well, hey, maybe in the future, guys, if you're listening, we will accept any free bourbon, and that goes to pretty much anybody. Actually, absolutely,
yeah,
not just them.
We have a bourbon-based Patreon where it's called Bourbonion. That you just pay in bourbon. It's very difficult because you have to have a hose brought out to your house. It's a whole thing.
It is. It is a thing, but once it's set up, it's very easy.
Oh yeah, once it's set up, it's super easy. It's
not a problem. Yeah, it was a great season. I really enjoyed it. So that's 5 seasons down. That's 70 some episodes that we've done, 76, 77. I forget how many exactly, but man, we're going to, a couple more seasons, we'll be hitting 100 episodes.
I know.
And, let's hope that we make it there, but we will be back for season 6, everybody, as we mentioned earlier, in February. So watch out for that. Watch out for, if you find yourself with a couple extra bucks, you want to go jump on Patreon and give those couple extra bucks to us. We'd love a couple extra bucks. So that would be cool. Or just a rating and review. That's totally free. Yeah. Give us a rating or review. We have 20 ratings as of right now,
nothing.
I think.
It costs you nothing, people.
It does. Well, a little bit of time, right? It's just, that's all there is to it. Just a little bit of time.
You know what? It doesn't cost you time because time is going to be taken from you regardless of how you use it. So it's not like I'll save that time and put it on the shelf and pull it out later. No, that time is going away regardless of whether you choose to review us or whether you choose to pick your nose or whatever else it is.
That's true.
So
That's
you
true.
might as well give us a great review.
Well, there you go. So we have 20 ratings right now. I think we've got 6 or 7 reviews. So help us out, folks. Get some more out there and let the world hear about what it is we're doing, because we like doing it and we hope you like listening to it.
Absolutely.
And Jethro, thanks so much for another fun season, and congratulations again on your victory. I look forward to season 6.
Likewise, Matt. It's fun going on the journey. I'm sure we've got some more interesting things to learn about next season. And thank you, listener, for tuning in. We assume people are tuning in. The numbers suggest that people are, but it's always nice to know that we're doing something that people find a delightful diversion from stuff.
That's right. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Hey, everybody. It's Matt Hartman here again, and thank you so much for listening to Season 5 of Drunkard's Walk. As we said, we will be back for another season, Season 6, starting in February, so keep an ear out for that. A big thank you to Jesse L. Lee for our theme music, and Nick Jaramillo for our artwork, as always. We really appreciate the work that they did for us. Also, a big thank you to all of our guests this season, Erica Larson, Brett Baver, Jessica Kirby, Dave Foreman, the guys from Penelope Bourbon, Nick Jaramillo, Ryan Warner, Mercy Odner, Amanda Averill, Emma Hartman, Caitlin Moore, Brian Gura, Mike Evely, and a big shout out to our patrons. That's Kate, and also our newest patron, Dave Foreman. Thank you to both of you. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, head over to Patreon, look up Drunkard's Walk Podcast, and do what you want to do there. If you'd rather not support us monetarily, you can always support us with a rating or review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to your podcasts. We always appreciate that. Even if it's not a review, just a rating. Just go on there and click however many stars you think we are worthy of out of 5. We would certainly appreciate it. Well, it's been a great season. We've really enjoyed it, and we hope that you have too. And again, we'll see you in February 2022. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.